Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Ford Raptor. This is a 2021 model, but you might want to know, how practical is a Raptor as a daily driver? What will it do for you? Well, we're going to try and answer that question today. What's the price on this model? $77,500. And we're just going to take a quick look at what we have here. One thing you might wonder about, you might think, oh, that looks really cool to have those extra lights on there. Why doesn't my F-150 have that? Even though this is an F-150, of course. The reason for that is because this truck is wider than a stock F-150. So DOT regulations require that to be there. Now, one thing that is pretty cool on these trucks that I like to show, it is practical and useful, but you may not know that it's on your F-150. It has to do with the front camera right here. So let's go hop into the interior and I will show you exactly what that is that I am talking about. Now, this happens every time you run your windshield washer fluid. I'm gonna turn that off, turn the headlights off real quick just so I don't forget. So every time you run your windshield washer fluid, by pushing the button on the turn signal lever, that some of you use more often to run your windshield washer fluid than to let people know what you're doing out on the road. But when I did that, something else happened. You'll see it right now. I'm going to do that one more time. The front camera washer. You may or may not have known that your F-Series truck has such a feature. Tell me down in the comments if this is the first time you have heard about this. 315/70 tires. I definitely have a lot of capability on road and off, so that's definitely something not all Ford F-150s can boast. 17-inch wheels right there, a very nice look. And one thing that's an advantage here, getting in and out of this truck, is the side step having kind of a grippy finish here, almost like grip tape on a skateboard, even though it's not grip tape, it's a spray-on finish, but it is there. So what about gas mileage, horsepower, all that kind of stuff? I don't know if I'd say it's practical, but let's talk about exactly what those numbers are. All right, under the hood, the 450 horsepower, 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6, 450 horsepower, 510 pounds-feet of torque, made into a 10-speed automatic transmission. What about the gas mileage numbers? Well, let's just go take a quick look here just so you can see them for yourself. As you can see on the sticker right there, 14 miles per gallon city, 18 highway, 15 combined. And if you're really careful, 6.7 gallons of gas will be used per every 100 miles. I don't think I could achieve that. Nothing out of the ordinary as far as the remote goes, but that's what you have. Same thing as many other F-Series pickups have on higher trim levels. It does have a remote start, something I know a lot of you are highly interested in. Nice large exhaust pipes there on the rear. You had a good earful of that earlier when I did the exhaust clip. We're talking about how practical this truck is. Let's talk about towing and payload. Payload numbers come in at 1,410 pounds. If you want to tow a trailer, the max towing capacity of this truck is 8,200 pounds. And depending on what you need to power, well, you have 2 power outlets right here, as you can see. So that's a very nice feature. Tie downs. Surprised this model at the price point it is doesn't have a bed liner already installed, but it does have the workspace tailgate. The only thing I can really demonstrate here today, at least that I was prepared for, is the cell phone and tablet holder right there. You can put a lot of pins right here, pins or pencils. I guess Ford thinks you're going to use a lot of pins or pencils because you've got them on this side as well. You also have the cup holder here, and if you need to measure and cut something, there are clamps here where you can clamp down a 2x4 or something that you might need to measure and then cut. And of course, if you have a hard time getting into the bed, here is the bed step. This is a lot easier to show how to get it out than it is to put it all back one-handed, but there is the bed step. That makes gaining access to the rear of the truck in this bed area a whole lot easier. And one thing that's going to make a truck practical is how much interior space is there. A lot of storage space throughout with the upper and lower door bins. Very large door bin here on the bottom. And I raised the seat up just on one side of these 60-40 split rear seats just to show you what's there. But there is a lot of space back here. As you can see, there is more space than I've seen in most trucks that have this 4-door crew cab, super crew type configuration. So that's good. And on the rear of the console, got the drink holders up there, rear air conditioning vents, and quite a bit of connectivity as well. So there's the 12-volt, also heated seats back here. That's a nice feature. And then let me see if I can do this one-handed. There are the USB ports and the power outlet. Like I said, a lot of connectivity. I don't know if I would call it practical, but it is a nice feature. The panoramic sunroof, something that you definitely won't find on all full-size pickups. You will find upper and lower door bins on the front doors. A little bit more space here in the lower door bin. Very comfortable seating with the Raptor logo right here in the seat. These are very comfortable seats. Driver and passenger, fully adjustable power. And we'll take a look at the upper and lower glove boxes. Not only the upper and lower door bins, if I can get that out of my mouth correctly, but upper and lower glove boxes. Like I said, a lot of storage throughout the interior of these Raptors. There isn't much different on the driver's side door than what we saw on the passenger side, but one thing that's going to be different, seat memory right here. 2 different settings. You can adjust the power pedals back and forth. Let's see if I can give you a decent view of that. And the steering wheel is also power. Adjustable tilt and telescopically via this right here, this button right here. So let's hop inside. We're gonna go ahead and hit the button to fire up the 3.5 liter 6-cylinder and just show you what's here. Everything's easy to figure out, I definitely must say. Nice large, I mean large shifter paddles right there. Although I do wish that those were affixed to the steering column instead of the steering wheel so they stayed in place when you turn the steering wheel. It's just a little bit more convenient. Obviously the center stripe right here, more of a look than a need, at least in my personal opinion, because you're not on the racetrack really. I don't know, maybe when you're out on the trail or something like that, that could come in handy, but at least you know when the steering wheel is where it should be in the center and the tires are pointing straight. But personally, I can't see how you could need that on the street. There's the Raptor logo right there, and just a very nice looking instrument cluster. And a few one-touch buttons. You got a little bit of a look at this earlier as far as the button goes right there for bringing up the cameras. The infotainment system, large screen here, very easy to use, very easy to learn, very easy to operate. For those who have maybe never had this kind of technology before, I know a lot of people are afraid of that. Don't be. With these Fords, it's a super simple system to use. And with a lot of vehicles, you have to go into reverse to use the rear view camera or the cameras in general. There are multiple views here, as you can see, but I'm going to go back into park because I want to show you that pretty much as you saw earlier, you push that button right there, you can see the different camera views without actually being in reverse. So we'll just run through that. One of these doesn't have anything on it, as you can see, but there is an option to use that if you want to. And then, of course, you've got the 360-degree view. If you want to zoom in on an area, you can do that. I'm going to zoom back out. Let's see if we can get that to work and hit this right here. There we go. Now you can kind of see what's there. And just a quick look at the controls for the air conditioning, for the radio, and more connectivity right here. There's quite a bit here. The 12-volt power outlet up here and the household power outlet right here. 120-volt outlet. And that's not all. A couple of USB ports there and wireless charging. Now, something that's interesting, you can see how the cup holders work. Got my bottle of water sitting right there. If you push this button right here, here's something that you won't see on all vehicles or cars, trucks, SUVs, but it is here on these Ford trucks when the option is on it, is this surface right here. A multitasking surface. You can use that. You can put your laptop up there to work. You can eat a meal right there, sign documents so you can afford to pay off your Raptor, whatever it may be. And then, of course, you can bring that back up. And one other thing that's interesting here, I know I've shown this in other videos. If you've seen it, well, I apologize. I'm going to put the truck into drive, and then I'm going to shut the engine off. And what you're going to see is that the shifter automatically goes into park by itself. You also have the seat minder right there that reminds you to check the rear seat. Now, it says for occupants. You know what? I realize we shouldn't have to have that. Hopefully you don't need that, but if you do, you can use it as a multitasker to find or remember something that's back there, such as a cell phone you might have left, a briefcase, an important document for a meeting, whatever the case may be, it's there. A little bit more connectivity, as you can see down there. I pulled the tray out so you can see that. A lot of space within the interior. Talking about how practical this truck is as a daily driver. Well, let's get out on the road and do just that. Let's take a test drive. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good view. We're going to get out on the road with the Raptor. The exhaust note from the interior is absolutely awesome, even for a 6-cylinder. I mean, wouldn't it be great to have a V8 under the hood? But I can't complain about this. I know a lot of people say they'd like to have a V8, but even without the V8 here, this thing sounds really good. It sounds mean, and it definitely gets down the road without any trouble at all. And there's a lot of things that I know we didn't touch on throughout the video. So while we're driving down the road, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and I've shown it in other videos, so a lot of you may have seen it before. But within the owner's manual, if you're buying a truck like this for the first time with all this technology, here is a great thing to know about. Within the owner's manual that's in the infotainment system right here within this screen are videos, tutorial videos that will show you how to do pretty much anything and everything you would want to do with your Raptor. But I know what I want to do. Wow, that is pretty amazing. I mean, I'm not even trying to go as fast as I'm going, but wow. So we're going to let some of this traffic pass right here. By the way, a little driving tip for you. See where I am right here where I'm turning around? This is where you're supposed to be. Not over there, but over here where I am right now. So obviously a lot of people don't know that, but just a little tip for you. Here we go. Quite a bit of fun to drive these Raptors. And there is a sport mode that you can drive in that'll make it even more aggressive than what I'm doing right now. Speed limit 65 on this road. Getting up to 65 miles an hour, no problem at all. Now, like I said earlier, you do have those lights on the front end that are DOT required because the truck is wider. It has to do with the width of the truck, so that's why those are there. They do add a nice look in addition to being there for safety purposes or just really government requirements ultimately, but it is what it is. But when it's all said and done, these Raptors are very, very nice, practical, fun to drive. Now, I really don't want to take this Raptor back to the dealership, but unfortunately I can't keep it all day. But hey, Ford, I would love to have a demo vehicle for a while. That would be fun. Not that I'm dropping a hint.
To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.